I think you're totally right, Andreas. The music is new, right?
It is. Our streaming platform introduced a new intro
We are
music.
extremely grateful to StreamYard, I think, that we have new intro music.
With that,
Hope you like it.
welcome everybody to the new episode of Labs Talk.
Well, normally, right, so normally we should be sitting here with Thomas Hüpper, right? But he got sick, unfortunately. So we decided to very quickly change our show and episode plan, basically. And we just thought we're going to do a chit-chat, recap a bit what happened in the first quarter, what we're going to do in the next quarter. And maybe talk about the one or the other, also private topic, actually,
Yeah,
which is more
absolutely.
like sports and stuff like that.
For those who signed up to hear Thomas talk, Thomas is out sick, and we wish him all the best and quick recovery.
Yeah.
But that's not. We'll invite him for some episode later, and we'll take this opportunity to do a bit of a recap and a bit of an outlook.
Yeah. So I mean, we started this year with kind of an episode between the two of us, right, where we just laid out our idea. But then the first real episode was with Lars Lamadé, and we talked about sports and sponsoring, right, from an SAP's perspective.
Like the one thing we probably should be talking about how proud we've been last December when we all planned this.
Yeah.
We had a continuous series, like all aspects of sports. We had a lot of guests, and a lot of things have been more or less fixed on the calendar, and it more or less fell apart. But we did start with Lars.
With Lars, yeah. So and by the way, right, if you got interested in one of these episodes, I really recommend the episode with Lars and also the next one, of course. But just go to labstalk.dev. That's the easiest way to really come to our YouTube channel, and then just hit the subscribe button. But with Lars, I mean, he's member of the board, I believe, right, with SAP, and he's an exciting guest. And we also, for our pre-chat, we talked to him in his in his office, I guess. I guess it was his office, not his home office or so. And we saw all these different T-shirts that he collected from all the different ice hockey games or something like that. I don't know. So he's fully into this whole sports thing and sponsoring, of course. Yeah,
absolutely. So. Just a minor correction. It's the supervisory board, but we didn't speak to him in that role. He's the head of global sponsorship, and we learned a lot about the 4 pillars, the reasons why a global corporation like SAP does sports sponsorship.
Yeah, I guess, I mean, let's not get into details. If someone wants to learn about that, just hit labstalk.dev and you'll find the episode with Lars Lamadé. I found it really exciting, that episode, and I was honored to have him really on the show.
Same for me, actually. We'll link the episode below
comments
going forward. And we had another pretty outstanding guest for the next episode. We spoke to Professor Sascha Schmidt. He wrote a book about the future of sports and technology in sports. And we, at least as far as I'm concerned, I changed my perspective quite a bit through that 3x3 matrix that he brought up as a result of his research and that he describes in his book.
That's also honestly that's the one thing I also remember now, right? Is the 3x3 matrix, and I think on the y-axis we had all these different technologies, basically, like physical technology, engagement technology, whatever, something like that. And then on the x-axis you had the different people, basically, right? The sportsman or woman, for example, or the team or the manager, for example.
The athlete, the fan, and the manager.
Athlete, fan, and manager. Exactly,
And the 3 technology types were data processing or information processing. It was physical technology and human interaction.
Yeah, and again, right, so the reason why we did bring him on is that he really uses sports to explain technology, basically, right? So when you talk about a new technology to figure out if the soccer ball was actually in the goal area or not, basically, and then you can really excite people, the fans in this case, and you can teach them actually how this and that technology works, basically, right? And so that's exciting how he's using sports to bring technology across, and I think organizations can do the same, basically. Yeah? So.
Absolutely. And when we planned all of this in November and December, it made so much sense because we had guests from all the rows and columns in that matrix. We had examples for most of these things from startups and research, and with that, we had a couple of calendar conflicts, and now Thomas is sick, and we had to deal with that on short notice. So how did we deal with that?
Well, I guess that's how we did the chit chat here, right? But actually, don't forget about the other episode, right? So we also had
that's where I was trying to get to. We jumped to Agentic AI as a topic, and so we had an interview guest.
Oh, that's what you meant. Okay, so we had a radical shift in our topics. Let's put it that way, right?
Very much,
from sports to Agentic AI, but it's of course super timely topic, right? Everybody speaks about AI. And especially Agentic AI, and I think we found probably the best guest that we can find in the whole SAP CX area, which is Shardul Vikram, right, our CTO in this area. And I think we hopefully did bring across how Agentic AI can revolutionize customer engagement and how it can be used by organizations that are in the CX space, basically.
So, yep, pretty much that's what we did so far. That's the recap, I guess. Let's take a brief detour, I guess, now that I look at the preparation notes that we took. Maybe it's not too much of time that we should spend there. Bit of a background for the motivation why we came up with sports as a topic in first place.
Yeah.
I don't know who may be interested. So we're not just you and me. There's a couple of more, the larger Labs Talk bubble that helps us get this organized. We do have lots of friends in that space, and we're all working together, not just through Labs Talk, but we also do sports together. That brought us to technology in sport. That's where it came from.
It was a natural fit, I believe, right? So it was really natural
absolutely.
fit, and you don't need to search long for motivation, because if you love cycling or running, then it's kind of easy to chat with someone like Professor Dr. Sascha Schmidt, for example, who is just fully in this topic and, well, thinks along the same lines, basically.
Yep.
So, yeah.
So
we have also planned some adventures, actually, right? So.
it is. I struggle to talk about that a little bit, but yeah, we're going to plan, or we're planning to cross the Alps this summer.
Once again, and I think this time, I think that last year, if I remember correctly, we did like the easiest possible route through the Alps.
It didn't feel like.
Yeah, I mean, it was still the easiest path, I believe, to take, with roughly something like 1,800 height meters or so. But we're gonna bump it up to 4,500 this year. So fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, yeah. Just to give our audience a quick outlook about the second half, if we don't return, we lost somebody along the way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, then some of us had to stay with that person, actually, somewhere in the Alps.
Yeah.
No, but it's going to be amazing, right? So this time we really have a lot more height meters, but we also maybe did train a bit more this year. I'm looking to you.
I'm going to train, yeah. I'm not in the worst shape I could ever be. I just managed to get through the Winterlauf-Serie here in Ismaning that finished with a half marathon.
And I think so that was a 3-part running series, right? And I've only done 2 because I was in between. I think I was snowboarding, but you've done all the 3.
I've done all 3.
So how many kilometers? What is it?
So it started in December with a 13-kilometer. And the idea is it built up through starting from 13 kilometers through 70 kilometers all the way up to a half
so
marathon.
I was missing the 17 probably. Yeah, I was missing the 17, but I was part of the half marathon.
That happened mid of February. That's already a couple of weeks back already. But from there, to take a bit of an outlook already, Sven.
Yeah.
For those curious, where can people meet you March 29?
Well, March 29th is going to be an amazing day because I'm most likely going to cycle down from where I live about 80 kilometers to Kochel am See. And there's I think it's called Sauna Masters Freestyle. That's the event name. It's at the Trimini Sauna in Kochel am See, and it's basically an epic battle among sauna masters. That I'm not participating, although very soon I might be
yet.
able to
Next
participate
year,
as a
maybe.
sauna master, but right now I'm just visiting basically and looking at that. But like always, I'm trying to combine that with sports basically, right? So I could take the train down, which probably takes maybe 2 hours or so. I can also cycle down, which maybe takes an hour longer. So I choose cycling. And it just reminds me a bit, actually. It goes, it's the same topic as a book that I just recently read, which is called The Comfort Crisis, right? So it kind of talks a bit how we are all quite comfortable and we take the electric escalators up to the gym to then basically do half an hour training in the gym. And I think I choose to just simply cycle to work and cycle to the places that I need to be, as long as, of course, it's somehow manageable. Right?
So the lucky thing is, with Labs Talk, we're never in a comfort crisis. We're dealing with exceptions all the time, right?
we always feel discomfort, right?
a bit, yes. just to stay on schedule. On a positive note, again, for our audience, to get back on our topic, I think we have plans that we're feel comfortable talking about, right? Like, we probably have to shuffle things back and forth, but we do have a Q2 and a Q3. We do have plans. We do have an idea that we want to deliver on. And let's talk a little bit about those episodes that are coming up.
I mean, here in the pre-chat, we even called it an epic Q2.
And it's going to be epic, like the entire series. Right? It's going
like always,
epic Labs Talks that are coming.
I mean, we planned our next episodes, and we're next actually going to talk to a real expert in the area of agentic AI. So I would call it maybe a mini series about agentic AI in this case. It's Christoph Sparnagel here from SAP, and he will really give us a deep dive and maybe also explain, deep dive about agentic AI, but also explain how we go and how we come to agentic AI. So I think he's a great person who can explain what's the difference between a request and response to a large language model and agentic systems, and how they basically differentiate. And maybe we also will talk a little bit of what's coming to SAP with Joule, for example. There was a lot of news actually, but also not, I mean, some things we just simply can't tell because it's going to be announced at Sapphire and we can't steal the thunder.
I guess here at Labs Talk, we're just staying on the more fundamental topics around agentic AI with Christoph. But there's other things that are on our schedule for a while already and that are worthwhile mentioning.
It's back to sports, basically.
It's basically back to sports, where it's the one thing that looked so good when we planned it out. We were trying to make a good transition from sports back to technology, and it seemed so natural to have esports to round off that series, and that's still on the calendar, so stay tuned for the esports part. We're pretty happy to have Sandra Bloy. She's the what's the English term for that?
It's the head of this basically organization,
president of the Bavarian esports organization. And when we spoke to her as a pre-chat or a get to know, she gave us pretty exciting insights already. Like, we're hoping to get something new to you as well. It was pretty new to us.
Yeah, there's actually an event coming up in Bavaria that we also might go just to prepare for that episode. It's on between the 28th and 30th of March in Munich at the Olympia Park, Kleine Olympiade, I believe.
Chances are you're going to meet both of us there.
Exactly, and it's really an event all about esports, anime, cosplay, so it's all mixed up basically. It's quite interesting. So you might actually find us there, and we might just be like two old white men are trying to get into esports basically that day.
Are you going to do some cosplay? You're showing up in a
sauna master maybe, or
that may be just in a towel.
Yeah,
maybe that.
Let's see. Some people might misunderstand.
Well, and anyway, just all jokes aside, chances are you can meet us there.
Yeah.
And with that was meant to round off the sports series, and from there we're going to go into another amazing technology topic that got some attention recently, that we hope that will build up some attention, and we planned out a few episodes already. That's going to be quantum computing.
Yeah. And I think it's a 5-part series. That's what we plan right now. Let's see how many parts we can really do. I mean, right now they're all scheduled, they're all planned out, and we just hope that nobody gets sick, of course. And I'm really impressed because we start off with some person from forgot her name now, but from the TU Munich, for example, and she's basically giving lectures on introductions for quantum computing, right? And then we dive deeper into quantum computing, and we even discuss all the applications that SAP might have in the area of quantum computing when it comes to ERP, supply chain, and so on. So I think it's going to be a great series, and if you watch that, you will definitely understand what quantum computing is about and what the application areas are, and what it can help with, and where classical computing, I believe, is still better, for example, or is not quantum computing is not needed, for example. Yeah.
So with that, a lot of exciting stuff to come, and to not miss an episode, subscribe to the channel. Another thing worth mentioning is that sometime along the way, we're probably going to move to a proper studio, a new studio. So big shout out to Stefan Wagner and the marketing department. We're going to have proper headphones. You don't hear annoying noises from any of the microphones. We're going to have proper gear. We're
proper backgrounds, proper lighting, actually.
So we really look into stepping up the game a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's going to happen sometime soon. We'll let you know.
The only reason why we already have access, right, to that room, but we didn't want to steal the thunder, because I think there's going to be an official opening with some super high-level guests, of course, right? And we didn't want to ruin the experience, so we're going to wait a few more weeks, and then you will see us in the new studio, and hopefully it's going to be epic, amazing, whatever.
So that's so far for the wrap up and the outlook of what we're going to do. But there's one more thing that beyond the current plans that we want to look into, maybe.
Yeah, and that's the business data cloud. So that's a new thing. You might have read about it when it comes to SAP. And we're really looking for guests right now. So we're trying to find someone in our organization, of course, that wants to talk with us publicly about business data cloud. It's a big thing. What have you learned so far about business data cloud? So how do you understand it?
Well, let me try. So what I understand about business data cloud so far, it is a central place that unifies data and allows to have a central governance and activates data. So the idea really is to unlock the potential of AI with that combined data across all silos. And that includes third-party sources. That's the important differentiator, as far as I understand at this point. It's one central place for all your data needs and for all the applications.
The reason why this is such a big topic these days is because of AI, because for training AI models, like for example with Databricks, which is actually part of that SaaS offering, you need to have good data, and you need to have data that is also accurate, that is also grounded, and that is, for example, in the end, that didn't lose the context. So you still know, basically, you just don't have like a bunch of numbers in an Excel sheet or so, but you actually understand what these numbers mean and where they come from, and if they are POs or sales numbers or whatever. Basically, you just don't train models that basically don't know what they're made for. And that's why this grounding is so important, and the knowledge graph is so important.
The knowledge graph, and it's also a very fundamental idea to all of that is to democratize data within an organization and to make important information available to more people into the organization.
So if I understood correctly, then you will very easily be able to get some quick insights on the connected data with some built-in tools, but you can also go all the way and create your own models, or create your own analytics, for example, on top, or your own dashboards on top of that data with, for example, Databricks then.
But let's stop us speculating here. That's something that we want to look at in depth once when you are done with quantum, I guess.
Yeah, so totally. Yeah.
There is a lot of stuff coming for the next couple of months. We're never going to have this comfort crisis. I'm pretty sure not
I
all
just
of these
wanted to
plans
mention,
hold.
maybe we're lucky again. Someone gets sick and we have to find a new person very quickly during our quantum computing series. And then we're going to have Business Data Cloud.
Stay tuned to find out.
Exactly. Thanks so much for watching. That was a quick one. Leave us some comments, and yeah, we'll later on put the links to our other episodes.
Thank you for joining.
Thank you so much. Bye bye.